Hi and welcome to Tiffany's Art Doll Studio. In this video I am going to customize a doll a little bit differently than you're used to seeing from me. And if you like pop surrealism, or also called lowbrow art, this is a video for you. And if you don't like that art style, maybe give it a shot anyway and know that you've been warned. If you are a Barbie collector or a fan of Barbie, maybe you have seen the new doll line that's just been launched. It's by the artist Mark Rydens. He has designed a few dolls for Mattel. I really would like one of these dolls, but I can't really afford them, so I thought maybe I will make my own. And then I saw that he made this one-of-a-kind doll that's not part of the line, but only like for exhibition. It's an art piece, and it's called Nature Queen, and I really love this doll. I think it's beautiful, and I thought, what if I make my own version of it? So you could say that this is kind of a tribute to Mark Rydens' doll Nature Queen, and he has all these things that I don't have access to, like the hair is factory rooted and the face is factory painted from his design, of course. The animal heads on the dress are 3D printed, so I really wanted to try if you can make this doll kind of on a budget. So this is my version of Nature Queen, and I really hope you enjoy this video, and yeah, let's get started. Yeah, so for this tribute and paraphrase of Mark Rydens' one-of-a-kind Barbie, the Nature Queen, I am going to use this made-to-move Barbie. I didn't necessarily think she needed to be made to move, like jointed, because she is kind of gonna just stand there, but yeah, this was the cheapest available doll with this face mold. I'm not gonna copy his Barbie, obviously. I'm going to make kind of my own version of it, but I am going to do my favorite part of the dress, all these animal heads. So I prepared with all of these little animals that are going to be decapitated real soon. I'm looking forward to that. Not sadistic at all. And for the dress, I kind of have these 3 different fabrics that I am thinking about using. I haven't really decided yet which one. And yeah, as per usual, I couldn't find a good dress pattern for this, so I'm gonna start with making my own pattern with my awesome skills. Just joking. You know how I usually do it. I take some painter's tape, put it on the doll, and then make a pattern out of that. So let's undress this lady. She has a really flexible torso. I'm sorry, but these clothes they give you are just kind of a joke. You know, what is this? So just so that the tape doesn't stick to the body, obviously, we want this. It's okay if it's not like super tight, because this dress isn't supposed to be super tight. Something like that. The dress itself will start from the waist and down, I mean the skirt part. Start putting the tape there, like a marker. Don't move around. So yeah, if you want to make this doll for yourself, obviously you can use whatever Barbie you want. Now I put on the tape on the whole body and kind of marked where I want the cuts to be, and yeah, so we just cut this off her body. Let's see if I can get this off. Maybe I should be in frame, I don't know. It's kind of late in the evening, so I'm a little bit tired. Just cut straight down like that. If it's not perfectly aligned both sides, you can always fix that later. So now you have one back piece, back right, if you are stupid like me and forget or something. back left. And now you have the bodice piece here, and just clean that up. As you see, the boobies. I think the most easiest way for this is to do the darts on the side, like here. I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I think you can do that. Just to the center of the boob. And then you can flatten it out. I will be so happy if this works. Probably not perfect, but we'll see. Front. Now for the tricky part. I didn't intend to do the arms so tight, but we can just slide that off. And it keeps the shape nicely. This was my plan all along. If I now cut in the center, we should be able to just fold it out. So you see, this is the shoulder, this is the armpit. And now we have a sleeve. Oh my god, it looks like a sleeve. Now just trim off this extra plastic so it isn't in the way when you transfer to the fabric. Now we have our pieces. As I said earlier, I am not like an expert seamstress. I kind of make it up as I go, but usually it works out. So now we're just gonna transfer these onto the fabric. So yeah, now I made this paper skirt for her in paper towels, just to get a feel of how it will look. This is kind of the width I'm after. I might make it a little bit wider just to get some poof. I kind of want to take her head off right now and see how that goes. So yeah, let's get back to that. So why I wanted to take her head off actually in this early stage was because when I tilted her head back, I could kind of see some maybe hairline fracture to her neck. And this is, I remind you, a brand new doll, so I haven't done anything to it, just opened the box. And I thought her joints were a little loosey-goosey. It's not broken, but you can see it's kind of when you put some strain on the plastic and you see these white marks. And I have put some Loctite glue on it. That's very strong. I am going to pour some boiling water on it just to get the white lines out. Usually works. So I don't think it will break when I put the head back, but you know, these things happen, and yeah, I think it's all right. So as you see, I chose a different fabric for the dress because I realized that the other fabric didn't really work with the hair color that I'm gonna put on her, and I kind of had forgotten that I had this. It's a type of silk material. It's very thin, so we'll see if I might need some underskirt for this, but I'm gonna start with putting these pieces together. As you see, I used the pattern that I draw up earlier. I put the upper bodice together with the skirt because I realized I don't have to have that in different pieces. So these are the two front pieces. This is the middle. These are the sleeves. So I'm going to stitch up on the sewing machine like this and just follow this line. First I'm going to fold up the, I don't know what you call it, and then sew the sleeves together with the right side in and then turn them inside out. And then I am going to sew these front pieces together. You just, the same thing here, you put the right side to each other and then sew this middle part. And then we do the same thing with the back piece, only the difference here is you want to have a piece open in the back, so we'll leave this part unsewn. We're going to fold it in so it doesn't frizz and then sew this on there and just sew this part, and then we're gonna fold the bottom part up and sew the edges up like this. I might use an iron on this. I quickly realized that you need to put your iron on a very low setting for this fabric, otherwise it melts it. So as you see, I have sewn together the two front pieces. Because the fabric frays very much, you need to zigzag all around. I have just ironed down the edges, also in the bottom and on the neckline, so that I can easily sew that down. And the same thing with the back piece. You see I have left an opening here with a little more fabric on one side than the other, so that you can put buttons there or something. And the same thing here, I have ironed down all the edges and the neckline. Yeah, the next step is to sew the front and the back together. And you see I have zigzagged this but not this, because I realized that I don't need to zigzag twice, because when you sew these together you can just zigzag the two at the same time. So we're gonna sew these together like this, the right side in, and also where the shoulder pieces are, you're gonna sew these together. And then the sleeves I will stitch on by hand. As you see, I have ironed down this stitch also. And the same thing here, I just put it inside out, so the right side is out. I can't talk. So I am really trying to explain what I'm doing here. I hope you understand. I will put the pattern for this dress in a PDF in the description down below the video, so that you can use it if you want, and you can change it around as much as you want. I actually, when I am making a pattern and I'm not sure if it will work, I usually make like a mock dress with some fabric that I have a lot of, so that you can see if it works before you use the real fabric. So I can actually show you. This is the mock dress. You see it's not very neatly done. I just wanted to see what it looks like on, and I'm very happy with it. I made it a little bit shorter than this because this is too long, but so that's a tip from me. That's what I do. It takes, of course, a lot of time, but I'm still learning. So I'm gonna sew these together and see you after that. So now I finally finished the dress, except for the animals and the embroidery, of course. I mean, it may not look like it, but this took me all day, because this green silk was so flimsy. I thought that this will never hold the animal heads up. So I thought, why not just use this prototype dress that I did at first. I shortened it a bit. And this is underneath, and I just glued it in some places so it won't slide around. Then I sewed the arms on and some snap buttons, as you see in the back. My plan is to now never take this dress off again. I did the arms a little bit too tight, so I mean, you can get it off and on if you really want to, but I don't. With the animals on, I think it will be even harder to get off and on. So it's not an issue really, because I will work on her head separately and then just put it on. This is a really nice base. I mean, it's not the prettiest dress I've ever made, but it's good for this purpose, I think. And here's a little zebra. I think this will be nice. I will just put that on. Maybe I'll glue it on, because stitching in this thin fabric, I don't know. I have some other embroideries. I will see which one looks the best, but I think I like this one. So I glued on these flowers, the embroidery flowers, with just fabric glue. I think it looks really good. Finally, we are going to do the fun part. with the biggest kitchen knife you can find. Please be careful, as always, with sharp things. For this you really need like a heavy-duty knife. So now we are gonna chop some heads. Sorry guys. Kind of feel the need to use the bodies for something. I don't know what. 3 out of a million. Don't chop off your fingers like I did with my X-Acto knife before. Why are you so difficult, Mr. Moose? Oh. This isn't macabre at all. Oh, sorry, I chopped your little hand off. It was fun the first 2. Now it's just hard. Yay. Why is this pig looking like this? Huh? So I decapitated all of the animals, as you see. I just want to disclaim here that I am a huge animal lover and I would never do anything to hurt real animals, of course. Yeah, I don't know what to do with these. Maybe traumatize some children or something. I don't know. Here are the heads that we are going to use. Plus some insects that I will make also. So yeah, I started gluing with a hot gun the animals to the dress. So I glued on all of the animals and I did weigh the dress down, so just for display purposes I put some paper like stuffing in there. I mean, if you want to make this Barbie you can try to use a stiffer fabric and a lot of layers of that maybe, but yeah, this is my version. And not to forget, there are some insects on her as well, but I made these out of epoxy sculpt and some beads and stuff like that. They just need to dry for 24 hours, so I'm not gonna be able to glue them on and paint them right now, but that's the plan. I'm going to paint them and things like that. In the meantime, while these bugs are drying, I'm gonna start with removing her hair. Now we removed all the hair, and now we are going to remove the factory paint from her face. You need 100% acetone. There. And now I'm just gonna wash her head with some soap and water, and then I'm going to start rerooting her. Yeah, I already started a little bit because I got this new rerooting tool and I just wanted to try it before I started filming. Whoop, whoop. I like to wet the hair with water because it's kind of easier to handle. It doesn't fly away as much. I never used so many colors at once, so this will be a challenge. Maybe I'm just messy. Do I just take the whole chunk like this and just go for it? I will regret it. And you just hold it like this, and you take the hair you want and just push it in. So yeah, this is kind of boring to watch. So you see in the beginning, as usual, on the hairline you put it extra thick and extra tight, and the middle part as well. For this doll, maybe not so important because she's gonna have like this half ponytail, but yeah, I'm gonna just fill in every hole. So now her hair is done, and I have put some glue inside the head to make the hair really stick in there, and that's also dry now, so she's ready for the face up. I will style and cut the hair later when the face is done and the head is on the body. Yeah, and now the bugs that I made earlier, they are cured and dry, so we are going to start with painting them. So now the dress is done. I made the final little insects that are sitting on her dress. I made the little ladybugs out of epoxy clay. I painted them with acrylics. The same with the snail. Some of the bugs I just used pearls and beads just glued together. And the butterflies I printed some stock footage and shrunk them down and printed on some fine photo paper. Now that the dress is done, the hair is done, we've only got the crown and the face up left, and I already started with the crown. So it's still a little bit wet, sorry. What I did was I took a Barbie crown that I cut off the original crown part, or I don't know how to call it. Then I put some really thin wire, a copper wire, did these branches, and I really wanted them to look organic like this, and then I covered them with some hot glue. So yeah, this is kind of the first layer of gold paint on it, and I'm gonna do some more. Maybe I'll paint it with some metallic gold as well. We'll see. I have just sprayed the face with Mr. Super Clear 2 times. I'm gonna spray it one more time, let that dry, and then we'll start the face up. As usual, I have now prepped the face with 3 layers of Mr. Super Clear UV flat. And now I'm gonna start sketching out the lines of the eyes and eyebrows and the lips with some watercolor pencils. I use Faber-Castell. I like them. I mean, you can try other brands, but I like Faber-Castell, and also their soft pastels for making some blushing and eyeshadows and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get started. And I think she's gonna have some greenish brown eyes, so I'm gonna start with a very light color, probably with yellow, so it's gonna look a little bit strange at first. For softening lines, I just use a dry Q-tip and just carefully dab the area that I want to kind of soften, because sometimes when you draw with the pencils, you kind of see the pencil lines, and this is one way of kind of just smudging it out. And I just use kind of this fan brush if you get specks, but be careful if you use like soft pastels, dark color, so you don't get it on the brush, because then you just smudge it out. So only for specks. And for highlights, I use not a completely white. I just use this kind of, it's called beige red. It's very light pink. I mean, this is the fun part. You can always go back and add, and, you know, just do it slowly, not too much at once, and you'll be good. I think it's kind of hard on Barbie heads because They're so small it's almost impossible to use soft pastels because it just gets everywhere, but yeah. Later I'm gonna darken the lips and the corners of the mouth and in the middle, so you get some more depth. I can't speak. Don't listen to me. And now, instead of using the brush to get rid of the dust, I use this kind of just dab it away. Because if you use the brush, as I said, you get all the color on the brush and you don't want that. I just have to check under the magnifying glass. That's what you call it. Maybe we'll take this opportunity and blush her a little bit. It's the same thing here with the blush. Just go in gently and you can add more later. And now I think she's ready for another layer of Mr. Super Clear. Just adding some highlights of shimmer. I used a white shimmering highlight for the nose and the forehead and a little bit on the cheekbones, and now I am having some more copper colored shimmer to her cheeks. It's very glittery right now, but it will soften when I spray it with Mr. Super Clear. So now I'm gonna spray her with Mr. Super Clear, and then I'm gonna paint the eyeliner and the whites of her eyes with some gouache. What I'm doing now is that I take a paintbrush and just take a little bit of water on the watercolor pencil, and that deepens the color slightly. I feel like these dotting tools are a really great help when you do the pupil. Sometimes it's just easier with the X-Acto knife to adjust small areas, but now I'm quite happy with the eyelashes. If you use a dotting tool, the circle will be almost perfect. Much easier than to do it by hand. I mean, you do it by hand, but you know what I mean. This is like surgical precision. And now the final catchlight, we take the smallest dotting tool. Yeah, so I just used a dotting tool and some metallic golden, it's from a pen. Like this. It's very fluent, so it's very hard to make it like perfect little dots, but I thought it's kind of what I'm going for anyways, because if she's going to look like she's this forest nature queen, she probably paint this with her fingers, and yeah, I think it looks kind of cool. Now I'm just gonna gloss the lips. I'm not gonna gloss the eyes because when the eyes are so small, I think it looks better when they're not glossed. But yeah, we have to gloss something, so let's gloss the lips. And I just use this Liquitex varnish. I do recommend a set of a lot of painting brushes because it takes a while before you know what your preferences are and your favorites. So yeah, I've tried everything. I think I have for nail art, I have for miniature painting, I have for regular canvas painting, so everything. You just have to try what works best for you. Natural hair is much softer, so it's kind of hard if you want to make very sharp lines, so I would recommend like a non-natural fiber. So I'm happy with that. Now we're just gonna let that dry, then we're gonna put the head on the body, gonna style her hair. I feel like this is the step where most issues can happen, and yeah, it did. When I heated up the head, the gold metallic kind of smudged a bit, but I could scrape it off, and then I sealed it once more with Mr. Super Clear, so now it shouldn't go anywhere. Then I dipped her hair in some boiling hot water in a bowl so that we get her hair nice and straight. And now I am going to put the crown on and style the hair. I have a rough idea of how I want this hairstyle to look. So this is my crown that I made. Because I put wire in the crown, I can gently form the branches if I want. This is very hard. I'm gonna put a band here. Yeah, so now her hair is perfect. She has her crown, and I almost forgot that she is going to have some flower earrings. And for that I'm going to use these nail art stickers, and I'm going to use some super glue so that they won't fall off. She's done. She has her little flower earrings and she's ready for her beauty shots. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This was a really fun project for me. I hope I see you next time in the next video. Bye now.